Guys, it is Super Bowl week. This Sunday, we have the biggest game in sports every year between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes versus Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, Travis Kelce, all the big names you can think of are here to play on the biggest stage. Who is going to win? Well, it's going to be a close game no matter what. These teams matched up just 2 years ago in the Super Bowl. It was a 3-point game. However, both teams' defenses have gotten better since then, so it's not going to be 38-35. The Chiefs have one of the best rushing defenses in the NFL, allowing the 8th lowest yardage per game total, and they're 11th best with EPA against the run. But they have not faced a rushing attack like the Eagles with Saquon Barkley and Jalen Hurts. Second in yards, second in touchdowns, 5th in yards per attempt. Only the Ravens run the ball like Philly does, but it doesn't have the same impact. With the best running back in the league and a top 3 rushing quarterback, expect the Eagles to run the ball at will against Kansas City, probably rushing for nearly 200 yards on like 30 attempts, as they've done so nearly every playoff game with 10 postseason rushing touchdowns so far. I don't care that they're playing one of the best rushing defenses. It doesn't matter. The Eagles will run the ball and do it very, very well. Now, I said the Chiefs had the 9th best rushing defense in terms of EPA. The Eagles have the 1st. Now, this is in the playoffs, by the way. And speaking of that Eagles defense, Kansas City cannot run the ball this year. Kareem Hunt is old. He gets touchdowns here and there, but you'll never see him break a big run. Occasionally, he'll break a tackle, get like a 10-yard gain, but he's not the same guy he used to be in Cleveland and in Kansas City. Isaiah Pacheco has been hurt all year, isn't getting the attempts that he's used to getting. They can't rely on this run game, especially against this Eagles rush defense, which is drastically different than the Chiefs. It's just there's too many names on the Eagles that have come together. Zach Bond, Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, all those guys, they're unstoppable against the run. All of them. I have a video on Zach Bond talking about his rush defense. It is insane, guys. He is so good. So far in the playoffs, the Chiefs have a rush offensive EPA of negative .129, which is the 9th worst of the 14 teams in the playoffs. But they've been throwing the ball very efficiently, being 2nd in dropback EPA, and Mahomes has been elite in the playoffs this year, not having a turnover like always. The Eagles' defense is also elite against the pass, though. They have Quinion Mitchell, Darius Slay, and crew, and everybody can cover very well. Man coverage, zone, it doesn't matter. They're just good at everything, the Eagles' defense. It's scary. You cannot do anything on this offense. We just witnessed them, put BTA to the Commanders 55-23. It was brutal. And Kansas City does not have the weapons outside of Worthy and Kelce to dominate this game offensively. That is one big thing that we have to worry about is, can Kelce do his thing? Can Worthy continue to use his motions and his misdirection routes that I talked about in my Xavier Worthy video to continue unlocking this offense? Or will Chris Jones and crew have to take down the Eagles defensively for them to have a chance to win this game? That's the only way they can win, in my opinion. But this Eagles offense is electric. With Saquon, A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, Jalen Hurts, Dallas Goedert, Jahan Dotson, no, but he's there. They have a bunch of weapons against this Chiefs defense. They could still put up the points that we're seeing. Now, not 55, but maybe in the high 20s. We'll have to see. Now, I think that this is the perfect Super Bowl matchup. It's not the one anybody wanted, but they're perfectly aligned at every position for it to be a toe-to-toe game, come down to the wire like it did just a few years ago. 2 defenses and 2 offensive lines that are good. The Eagles have the best in the league. The defensive lines have played great with pass rush and rush defense. The linebackers are great. Nick Bolton on one side, Zach Bond on the other. The secondary is great. Quinion Mitchell, Quintanamo Bay on one side, and Trent McDuffie on the other in Kansas City. It's just perfect. Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley against nobody. We couldn't have asked for a better football game as fans, but we all wanted Bills Commanders, let's be honest here, unless you're a fan of one of these 2 teams. It's crazy how perfectly they align against each other. Both are great at stopping the other's strengths. But for one to win, one of the teams has to come out on top and break down the other team's strength and make it look like a weakness. Now, there's one guy that I think will have a huge game. It's Xavier Worthy. And there are 2 picks I want to make for this game, but let me get to Xavier Worthy. The Eagles are not used to seeing someone like Worthy with that speed, his ability to be used in motion and creatively. I think he'll have a huge game. He's definitely scoring a touchdown, but something I want to put with that is Travis Kelce to get higher than 0.5 yards, which you can only get on Underdog. And you have to join Underdog before the big game kicks off by signing up with code FANATICS, because you get a deposit match of up to $1,000 in bonus cash and a free Travis Kelce higher than 0.5 yards pick that I just told you about. Not to mention the no sweat entry they're giving every user, which means you either cash in or get your entry fee back in bonus credit. Now, if you sign up for Underdog, it gives you the best chance to win some money this weekend. Again, it is code FANATICS. And guys, Xavier Worthy is an absolute weapon. He's played really well this playoffs, and I just did a film review on his playoff performances so far. Ever since Andy Reid and Matt Nagy realized that he's not necessarily a deep threat, they've been using him in more creative ways, and he has performed. In motion, those misdirection routes like the whip route I brought up in that video against press man, whatever they design, it's worked for Worthy. You get him in motion, you have him already running, it's over for the other team's defense. And then there's Travis Kelce. He is designed to have a big game. It is just destiny. Travis Kelce is a playoff performer. Although he did not play entirely well against the Bills, his presence was felt either way. He will do great against Philadelphia without Nakobe Dean. That just makes his job easier. As for the Eagles, Saquon will do his thing in any game. I don't care about the run defense. We already talked about that, though. I'm scared for A.J. Brown against Trent McDuffie, but I think Devonta Smith will, pick up where A.J. Brown has left off. His projection is at 70.5. I wouldn't touch that, but if I were to, I would take the lower. He still wouldn't have a terrible game, but I'm thinking in the 60s. He, being Trent McDuffie, is one of the best corners in the league, and this passing attack has not looked great all season. Not horrible, but not the elite passing attack we saw the first year with A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, and Jalen Hurts. But either way, this Eagles defense is too much. I think Mahomes will throw his first interception of the playoffs, and it will prove to be a crucial mistake for Kansas City. No team has ever completed a three-peat, and due to the Chiefs facing a defense that matches up perfectly against their offense, I don't think they will be the first team to do it. I have Philly going into New Orleans and winning 24-21. Now, let's get into some player picks that you can put on Underdog with the Xavier Worthy touchdown, with the Travis Kelce free pick. First off is Dallas Goedert, higher than 52.5 yards. He's done this in 2 of his 3 playoff games. The Chiefs allow the most yards at tight ends per game all season at 67 yards per game. The outside will be locked down with Trent McDuffie on A.J. Brown, and expect Hurts to look for Goddard underneath. He can get some yards after catch. He'll just make a play with the ball in his hands. Higher than 52.5 yards. Then we have Travis Kelce touchdown. He will be the number 1 read every time in the red zone. The running game hasn't worked well, so the red zone passing attack will be in this game for Kansas City. They have to install a bunch of passing plays in the red zone. He's a playoff performer. 117 yards and a touchdown versus Houston. And Buffalo, all the other weapons were eating, but his presence was definitely felt. Philly will do what they can to keep Xavier Worthy contained. I know he's really hard to contain, I just told you that, but they'll try their best, meaning Kelce will get more targets. Next, we have Butker, higher than 7.5 kicking points. Harrison Butker is a great kicker. Maybe not a great person, but a great kicker. It's going to be a close defensive battle all throughout. The Chiefs will be forced to kick multiple field goals during this game. I see him crushing this projection with probably 8, 9, 10 kicking points. I think they'll have a couple touchdowns and some field goals. Maybe there'll be a 2-point conversion there that takes away from him so that they can try and make the game closer. But I like higher than 7.5 kicking points. Next, we have Jalen Hurts, higher than 38.5 rushing yards. The Chiefs allow the 5th most rushing yards to quarterbacks per game. I know Hurts is kind of injured, but a couple scrambles here and there, some designed runs. The passing game won't be there for Philly as much against this Chiefs amazing pass defense. So expect Hurts to have to take off and run more. And this one is a Hail Mary. Nick Bolton to get an interception. There's not really an analysis here, but Hurts is due for an interception as well as Mahomes, and Bolton's my guy to get it. He probably won't, so this is just a Hail Mary. Again, you can make all these picks on Underdog when you sign up with code FANATICS, get that deposit match up to $1,000 in bonus credit, and the free higher than Travis Kelce pick. What I would say is put these in a 2-person entry together, mix and match them, maybe 3, maybe flex them, use the no sweat on it, and just make sure you have the best chance to make some money this weekend when the big game comes around.